Hey guys, I'm Elliot. This is Everything Elliot. Thanks for stopping by. And today I'm actually out on the Dude Ranch with Jake, and he's got a YouTube channel called Dude Ranch DIY.
How's it going, guys?
So Jake, what do you do on your channel?
I do a little bit of everything. I'm a professional arborist for a living, so there's a lot of tree work involved,
Sure.
a lot of firewood work, and pretty much my videos are about anything I'm doing after work and on the weekends.
So what brought Jake and I together is actually we have the same brand of log splitter. He's got a RuggedMade 37 ton, where you guys know I have a RuggedMade 22 ton. Basically the same machine, his is just the big one. If you guys seen my last video when I did the tips and tricks on RuggedMade, you heard me talking about the big brother. He's got the big brother.
I got the bigger brother.
He's got the bigger brother. So what we're gonna be doing today is we're just gonna split some wood, and well, we already did it and we forgot to do an intro. So here we are. You see that tote back there. You might not see it, but it is already full. We did split, but we're gonna throw some footage in here for you guys so you can check out me running this 37 ton.
All right, awesome. And I think you brought your saw too. I might get a chance to try that out.
Yeah, I brought my 372 XP. It's a Holzfforma. If you guys don't know what a Holzfforma is, it's basically the Chinese knockoff of a Husqvarna 372 XP at about a quarter of the cost.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you've never run one of these before.
I've never run one. I've seen them, and I don't really know what to think, honestly, so I'm excited to try it out.
Great.
All right, let's do it.
So if you guys don't know, if you've never seen Jake's channel, he's got the 37 ton, I mentioned that, but he's done some modifications. So let's take a look at. This is Louie, by the way. He's been a very, very curious dog all day today. So Jake, give me a rundown on what you got going on with this splitter.
So this is the RuggedMade RS737, and it's a great splitter, but I can't ever leave anything stock. So when I initially got the splitter, I wanted to make it bigger and better and faster. So I did. I did that. The first thing that we got going on here is I added on a Prince Autocycle valve. So you'll notice that these are the two old spools and this is a new one, and it's got two levers. So basically what it does is you kick both of them and the ram will go down, and one will kick off and then it retracts back and the second will kick off. So you don't have to actually hold that lever in place. The next thing that I did was I reused these two original valves. The original one was to make the cylinder go back and forth, and this one was for the log lift, and I repurposed them. So now this spool actually raises and lowers my log lift, and this spool raises and lowers my hydraulic wedge lift, which I also added on here. So this is all custom, and I hooked up a cylinder down here to be able to, raise and lower my lift according to the size of the logs that I'm splitting. The last thing, not quite as interesting, is a little dump valve back here, and that just helps re-divert all the fluid when the cylinder is retracting. It instead of having to go back through the valve, it dumps through this valve straight back into the tank, which keeps your temperatures a little cooler. so we filled up that tote pretty fast there. What'd you think of the splitter?
I mean, besides the fact that all your valves are different than mine. So you guys saw me, I mean, every time I'm grabbing different valves and stuff. But you have to remember on my splitter, I don't have these extra spools here. So I'm constantly grabbing for these spools to move the cylinder. And I mean, now I got to reach back here. So you guys saw, it's just, I mean, if I ran it, I get used to it. But just jumping from my machine to your machine, it's fantastic. It just would take some getting used to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're 2 extra valves in a totally different spot. You're used to these, so naturally you're going to go for those.
And I mean, the addition that I really don't get at my house is the dog between the legs.
Yeah, you know, Louie, I don't know if you guys could see, but Louie is currently underneath the log splitter, which if you followed along with the channel, you usually see him traipsing around in the background, but he has taken a liking to you.
Apparently. I mean, it put me in like some awkward yoga pose or something I was doing.
Make sure you don't step on his tail. And just if there weren't enough hazards, you know, going on with the new Autocycle machine and everything, don't step on the dog's tail.
Just it's like having a child. It's like one more moving thing that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, right.
He's having a good time, right, bud? Oh, I know. But yeah, great machine. I love the addition of the spools. You know, I don't know if my machine would handle the extra spools of an Autocycle, because your motor's obviously bigger and your pump's bigger and stuff. So I mean, I'm sure it could be done. I just don't know how well it would run it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I don't know that it takes more flow or anything necessarily to run it. I think it's more just figuring out how to plumb it and everything. It's definitely fun to use and totally different than...
The Autocycle, I mean, is a game changer. You don't have to sit here and hold the spool forward, and it just goes.
I mean, it's almost like you can do 2 things at once.
Yeah. So, well, you want to try that blue saw out?
Yeah, let's try out the Holzfforma, and we can cut up some more of these rounds here to the proper size.
Now, disclaimer, I used this saw about a month ago, and I don't remember if it's sharp or not. I think it's sharp because I try to keep my saw sharp, but if we get into it, know that it's no fault of the saw, it's my fault.
Okay.
I came unprepared. I mean, that's just what it is. So yeah, this is a Holzfforma 372 XP, and like I had mentioned, it's basically just a Chinese clone of the Husqvarna 372 XP. A lot of people bash them because they are Chinese, and what a lot of people I don't think realize is that all of this stuff that we're buying is made in China anyway. Right. I mean, it might be assembled in America, but all these parts are exactly the same. There might be a little bit difference in, plastic material and stuff like that. But what's nice about these is you can actually go to Husqvarna dealer and, I don't know, say you break your choke lever off, and you don't want to order one from the factory because it does take about 3 months for stuff to come in. It comes on the slow boat. You can go to the Husky dealer and just buy a part and throw it in here.
So it's all interchangeable.
Everything's exactly the same. They have the same dyes that they use for making the Huskies. This is just blue. Cool. It's essentially it. It operates the same way that any other chainsaw does. The only thing that I found with these, they might use a different carburetor than what Husky does because they flood very easily. So when you start it, you put it full choke. The first time it pops, you turn the choke off and you pull it, and it should fire right up.
Cool.
Not too bad, huh? I mean, it cuts wood.
It cuts great. I mean, the chain, well, so first of all, the chain is sharp.
Sure.
So your disclaimer,
I guess.
Your disclaimer wasn't necessary.
Well, I just wanted to throw that in there because I didn't want to be like, oh, Elliot brings this saw and it's all dull and
Nothing worse than a dull Chinese knockoff.
Right. That being said, the bar and chain are from Oregon.
Right.
You can buy a bar and chain from them. I opted not to. So I did buy an Oregon bar and chain. So that is as American as I guess Oregon can be.
Right. Now, yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the sound of it. It's got a nice throaty like sound to it.
Yep.
You definitely feel the weight, but I think that's just because I don't have a saw that size.
Yeah.
I think my biggest saw right now that I use on a typical basis is the Steel 362.
Sure.
So this is just a bigger saw, but I mean, for, what'd you say, a quarter of the price?
Yeah, it was about, I think it was about $250.
Can't beat that. I mean,
Right.
you could buy like 4 of them.
Right. And the only time I use this saw is when I'm cutting down big trees. I have tried bucking with it, but like you just said, you feel the weight of it.
Yeah, and
So-
the bar's a little long for, especially just doing what we're doing here.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice because you don't have to bend over as far when you're
is.
bucking, but it's very,
Absolutely.
very heavy.
Yeah, no, I like the big bucking dogs on it, on either side. And I mean, if the carb's a little finicky, just adjust it, but you know, you get to know the beast.
Right. And this saw, I mean, besides the bar and chain, this saw is exactly how it would come from the factory. I haven't put anything into it besides fuel and bar oil, but you do see a lot of guys that will buy these and they'll immediately mod them to, you know, make them more bulletproof, if that's the word you want to use. But I haven't, because I wanted to use this saw as it came. I wanted to see what fails on it, what goes wrong first. That way we can educate everybody else that's interested in buying one of these.
Right, and I mean, for 250 bucks, what do you got to lose?
Right.
So, very cool. Yeah, I like it. I definitely like it. Well, all right, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up the video here. Down in the wood yard, it just started to rain.
It did.
So we beat that.
And I am made of sugar, so I got to get inside.
Yeah, you'll melt. But it was fun getting to meet you, first of all, and having you come down here. I appreciate it. And I'm glad you got to try the bigger brother to your splitter, and I got to try your Holzfforma.
Yeah, it's
Husqvarna clone.
It's always great to meet new people, and obviously he has something I don't have, and I have something he doesn't have, so it's great to be able to meet each other and get together and do videos like
Absolutely.
this to try other things out.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and we made a little bit of firewood, which is always good. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to both of our channels, Everything Elliott and Dude Ranch DIY. Hit that button down below. Any questions, comments, or feedback, throw it in the comments section. But for now, I'm Jake.
I'm Elliott.
This is Dude Ranch DIY and Everything Elliott.
And Everything Elliott. Little 2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1 action. Enjoy. We'll see you next time.